everybody? You're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for stopping by as we're just going to chop it up about the latest Knicks news and rumors. The Knicks lost to the Boston Celtics last night, and it showed that the Knicks are just not really ready to compete with the top teams in this Eastern Conference. I understand that R.J. Barrett was not able to play. Definitely missed him out there. I don't know if R.J. Barrett is going to make a big enough difference to where you lost by almost 20 to the Celtics. But the Knicks are obviously a better team with him. But it showed some things. And the first one is coming in from Johnson Yu with a $2 super chat. Says, do you think the Knicks should get a 4? Well, Julius Randle is going to be a starting power forward. I don't think the Knicks lost tonight because they didn't have a backup power forward. If you talk about, you just look at the stats of this game, the New York Knicks were actually tied in rebounds with Boston. They both had 37 rebounds, 12 offensive for the Knicks compared to 8 offensive for Boston. I think the reason that you lost was because of power forward. Do you need to get another one? I don't know. I don't mind Josh Hart as your backup 4, but you are a little bit small. My question would be, if you got a backup power forward, how many minutes are they going to play? Is there going to be less minutes for Immanuel Quickley? Is there going to be less minutes for Grimes already? Is there going to be less minutes for R.J. Barrett? Is that going to be less minutes for Hartenstein? Is that going to be less minutes for Hart? We'll see. We'll see as the season goes on. I'm going to say no need. If you're going to trade for a 4, though, someone's got to go out. You can't just add more to this rotation. You're already up to 9, and some people aren't getting enough minutes as they deserve. EC says, watching this game, realized how small we are, Wise in the backcourt. I would say, EC, it made me realize just kind of how small we are on the wing. The Knicks don't really have that true long and lengthy wing defender. That's why Jason Tatum was able to absolutely dominate. 38 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds. I mean, it didn't matter who the Knicks put on. They tried Josh Hart. They tried Quentin Grimes. They tried Donte DiVincenzo. Those are all guys that are 6'5" and smaller, and Jason Tatum's a true 6'10". Yeah, you lack a true wing defender. You lack a true wing defender, that's for sure. I know some people are going to say R.J. Barrett didn't play. Is R.J. Barrett able to guard Jason Tatum? I don't love that matchup for us. Knicks still do truly miss they do not have a true wing defender on this team. Will, would it be possible to trade for Karl Anthony Towns and Donovan Michell while still keeping good pieces for the bench? Yeah, you could make both of those trades. I mean, think about it. You can't trade Josh Hart and you can't trade Donte DiVincenzo. Both those guys are going to come off the bench. And like we've talked about, Brian Windhorst has mentioned the idea of the Knicks making 2 trades. You have 8 tradable first-round picks. You got guys like Immanuel Quickley. You got guys like, I know people don't want to trade him, R.J. Barrett. You got guys like Julius Randle you could trade. To be honest with you, I'm not that big of a fan of Karl Anthony Towns. I would like to trade for Donovan Mitchell. I think a game like tonight showed you that as good as Immanuel Quickley is, as much as I am a fan of him, if Immanuel Quickley is your secondary ball handler throughout a game, I don't think you could be a top team in this league. I love him. He's a great player. He's a good defender, a smart player. But I think he's best kind of as your third playmaker. I think tonight kind of showed you. I mean, you scored 98 points, and it's not like Boston's a great defensive team. They don't really have any rim protectors outside of Porzingis, and I don't even think that – I mean, Porzingis had 1 block. They had 3 blocks tonight. Knicks need another creator in the backcourt, in my opinion, and I think Donovan Mitchell would help with that. That's for sure. But, yeah, you could make a trade for both those guys and still field a competitive roster, no doubt about it. I'll ask you this question. Who should the Knicks trade for? A trade is coming. You have 8 tradable first-round picks, potentially 4 this year, potentially 6 in the next 2 years. Knicks aren't making 6 picks. Give me a guy you think they should trade for. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. Mark K says, how can we get IQ to be more consistent? What can the Knicks do to make him more consistent? He just missed jumpers today, man. He just missed jumpers today. And everyone's going to have an off day every once in a while. He definitely did not play good. And, I mean, you're not going to win many games when Immanuel Quickley shoots 1 of 10 from downtown and has 1 assist. You seem to be better. You need to be better than that. Still a really young player. Only been in this league for 4 years. I'm a huge fan of Immanuel Quickley. I don't want to bash on him. Just didn't show up tonight. He just didn't show up tonight. And when a guy like Immanuel Quickley, who's one of the most valuable players on your team, doesn't show up, it's going to hurt. And it did tonight. He's got to be better. To be honest with you, not just him. Brunson's got to be better. I know he had 26 points, but he shot less than 50%, and he only had 4 assists. 5 assists combined between Quickley and Brunson. Your guards got to be better, and they got to get better looks for other people. Stand on that. We'll get to more questions coming up in a second, but first I got to give you a huge shout out to today's sponsor, Prize Picks. It's prizepicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS, and if you use that link and that promo code, Prize Picks will match your initial deposit up to $100. It's prizepicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS. My lineup that I rolled with did not cash against the Boston Celtics, but you know what? Thanks to the promo code, I got a little extra cheddar in my account and a little bit of room for error. You can get hooked up. prizepicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS. All you do is select more or less on the projected stat line for these players. That link and info will be clickable down in the comments and description of this video. Tamar Bowles says, do you think Quentin Grimes should come off the pine so we can get more looks? So we could start Immanuel Quickley and then not have a point guard coming off the bench? I'm going to say no to that. I don't really understand the idea of wanting to put Quentin Grimes on the bench. Do we think if he just comes off the bench, he's going to be allowed to have the ball in his hands a little bit more? I don't really understand that thought process. And then if you start Quickley, you don't have a backup point guard. So I'd say no. I don't think there's a reason to start Quickley and bring QG off the bench. G5 Wheeze says, does the Knicks trade Randle, IQ, Grimes to get a star player? I don't know if it's going to be that collection of players, G5, but I will say that the Knicks are going to make a trade. I think the Knicks are going to make a big trade prior to the trade deadline. I really do. How long can you sit on your hands? How long can you let these assets sit while the expiration date gets closer and closer? I think there's a reason that the Knicks did not extend Immanuel Quickley. If you would have extended Immanuel Quickley prior to the season, he would have been untradeable during this season. So that would be my thing. Yeah, I do think they trade for a star player. Speaking of star players, official Dapper says NBA is about superstars. You need one. Who realistically would be a target and win? I agree with you. You win in this league with superstars. And the Knicks do not have a superstar. As much as we love Jalen Brunson, as much as we love R.J. Barrett, as much as we love Julius Randle, those guys aren't superstars. None of those guys could be the best option on a championship team and win a title. That's what a superstar is in my mind. Could be the best player on a team that wins a championship. You ask who? I don't think any superstars are on the trade block. I don't know. Superstars, guys that are will be available. I think Zach LaVine. I think you keep your eyes on Joel Embiid, but as long as they stay winning games, he's not going to force his way out. Can something boil over in Los Angeles with the Clippers and maybe Kawhi Leonard gets traded? Champagne Poppy says, LaMelo Ball, please. We just blew out the Hornets. We need a wing. You need a wing. You do. Maya's World says, what about this trade for Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan for Quickley, and also R.J. Barrett and a few first-round picks? I'd say no. I don't understand why the Knicks would have to give up Quickley and R.J. Barrett and a few first-round picks for Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan's on the back half of his career. Still a really good player. But I'm not adding first-round picks to R.J. Barrett and Immanuel Quickley for Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. I'm really not interested in adding DeMar DeRozan. Zach LaVine, he's a really good offensive player. I wonder how much he sways how much does he tip the scale into the winning factor? In the past, I've said yes, trade R.J. Barrett for Zach LaVine. But maybe RJ Barrett's hit a turn in his career and become a winning player. I do this all the time with RJ. I feel like a dad to RJ. I'm proud of him, but I'm very critical of him. I'm going to say no to this trade in my eyes world. EC, do you think Tibbs will stay as our coach after this contract is up? I think a lot depends on this season, EC. If the Knicks lose in the first round of the playoffs, that means you would have taken a step back. I'm going to say TBD. I'm going to say TBD, EC. I'm going to say TBD. I think if the Knicks don't make the playoffs, I think they would fire Tom Thibodeau. If the Knicks make the playoffs and lose in the first round, I think that conversation heats up. But look, it's one loss. It's one loss to a Boston Celtics team that is, are they the favorites to win the NBA Finals, Rolly? I believe the Boston Celtics are the favorites to win the NBA Finals. And you were up at the half. You didn't close the half strong, and that came back to bite you. I'm going to say it's dependent on this year. That's all I can really say. That's all I can really say. As always, just want to say thanks, and I appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you haven't yet, give me a follow over on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_. I'm tweeting about the Knicks all day, every day. Give me a follow over there. Let's go. Knicks. I almost said Big Blue. Let's go Knicks.